Happy Sunday. Hello. Hi, James. Hi. Hey, Bobby. How's everybody's Sunday? How's everybody's week? Hi, Andrea. Hi, Janet. Happy Sunday. I hope you had a fantastic week as well. I'm in Colorado right now. I just got here yesterday. It's beautiful over here. It's hot, but it's not like Florida hot. Like you could walk around and still be, breathing. How's everybody's week? All right, just letting a few people on. So I wanted to make today's video a little bit about Ocala, and if you've been dreaming of moving to Florida, but rising prices and insurance costs has you second guessing, I have good news. Ocala was just named the most affordable city in the state, and we're gonna break down why that matters for you. So if you're interested in Ocala, this is a perfect video for you. Hey, Gilbert. Janice said week was great. Summer is flying. Summer is flying. It really is. I'm like trying to do school shopping. I'm trying to order everything on Target so I don't have to go into the store and do school shopping. It's just too much for me, especially with 6 kids, and it's just so much. So I'm trying to get everything done on Target so it just gets delivered to me. And then I have my mother-in-law went through their uniforms today, and Malachi is good because Malachi goes to a different school, but the 3 that are in the same grade, they need new shirts, and it's so expensive. Like we were talking about last week, it's like $25 a shirt. And then Eli needs new shirts too because all his shirts are so short because he's so tall. Yeah, we started in what, 2 weeks? It's so crazy. Hey, Anthony. Very stormy in Maryland this week. Really? Oh, no. So, guys, Ocala, Florida, median price is $303,000, well below the state median of $412,000. If you guys didn't know, Ocala is one of the few cities in Florida that has lower property taxes, and insurance rates are extremely low, especially for brand new homes. Also, you have less HOA pressure, newer communities with no HOA, right? So I know a lot of you guys love the no HOA. Hey, Leo. Happy Sunday, Leo. So my week was very interesting. Very, very, very interesting. Like I said, I just got to Colorado yesterday. I will be in San Diego. I'll be in Dallas this week as well. So we had, let me see, this past week we had a few closings. Oh my gosh. One did not go as planned. So so this is how it happened. So in our one of the houses that we closed on, the grass was extremely tall in the back, right? So it was agreed upon between the seller and the buyer that the grass was going to get cut prior. Okay. So this is just, let me forewarn you, this is just a domino effect of how when things go wrong, like when things are going wrong, oh my gosh, they continue to go wrong. So the seller waited too long to go ahead and cut the grass, right? Too close to closing. So when they hired the company only did the front lawn, right? Mind you, they left the grass clippings on the lawn, like just very unprofessional, no edging, and they didn't touch the back yet, right? The back, no lie, it was probably like maybe 3 feet tall. It was very, very tall. Okay. So I'm going back and forth with the builder's agent, the seller's agent, and I'm like, hey, this was agreed upon. This needs to get done. And they were like, oh, well, the lawn company that was supposed to do it didn't do the back because it was raining. Well, I had to get down. I had to let them know that it was still unacceptable. They waited too long, especially we're in the rainy season, right? So you're going to have to, if it's going to rain, you're going to have to do it a week prior to make sure that everything gets done. So the way they did the front, we were like, let's just hire a new company to do the back, because the front, I'm telling you, they left all the grass clippings. Okay. So we hired they came highly recommended, this lawn company. Okay. So when they came to the house, they saw the grass, how tall it was in the back. And they were like, oh, we need our commercial lawnmower, right? And that one is actually being serviced and we won't get it till Friday. Okay. So they came Friday, and the grass was so tall that that their belt broke, right, for the lawnmower. So they had to go back and they had to purchase a new belt. They said that they would have been back within the hour. They never showed up. It was a very, very unfortunate situation. And being that the grass was so tall, there was field mice and snakes. So it was definitely, I can't say a lesson to be learned because it's something that was out of my control. It was very unfortunate. And I felt so, so, so bad. But it just, like, you guys know, when something just happens something bad happens and then it's a trickle effect, that's exactly how it went down. So needless to say is that people, and that's what I'm going to do going forward. Listen, if it's agreed that we're going to have the grass cut, we need to do it at least 1 week prior, because especially in rainy season, it rains every day, right? So, and the seller shouldn't have let their grass get that high anyways. So those who are on my live, is anyone interested in the Ocala area? I did just get word about that new Richmond American community that I was telling you about, is located in Ocala. They don't have pricing yet, but they did say that I have the HOA information. So at first they said that there was no CDD, but there is going to be a CDD. So the HOA is $28 per month, and the CDD and HOA together are $247 per month for the 40-foot lots, and for the 50-foot lots, it's $300 per month. The monthly fee includes internet service. So that is Richmond American Homes, but it's not I don't know what the prices are going to be just yet, but they're going to have one single story home, which is going to be their slate floor plan, which is a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, and then the rest is going to be their 2-story floor plans, and one being the Amulite, which is their the one that has kind of like that in-law suite. It has a separate living room, it has the bedroom and the bath, and then kind of like a little wet bar situation going on, but you would have to add the cabinets after. Hi, Theo. So I'm excited to see that community. I went to go see it, but I'm excited to tour that community. Let me see. How many people here work from home, like work remotely? Because I have a lot of clients that have relocated from other parts of the United States that work remotely, and they're always in a good situation because they get paid, where they for example, New York. I have a lot of people who have relocated from New York to Florida, and they work from home and they still get their New York pay, but they now have Florida living, expenses, which is way less than New York. So that's always good for, if you are looking for somewhere more affordable, like the Ocala area. I think that would be great if you work from home, and you could definitely pocket a lot of money because New York is super expensive. Jennifer said, "Hey, I'm Jennifer from Long Island, New York. How do we go about having you as our realtor? My husband and I plan, and our goal is to move to Central Florida next summer." I love that, Jennifer. Thank you so much for reaching out. You can give us a call, you can send us an email, or you can go on my calendar, which I will put up here now. Did you guys see the video? The video we posted of with Katrina's first video. I think she did so good. Hold on, let me see if I could post. Let me see if I could put. Let me get Calendly. All right, so this is for buyer consult. Oh. Um, I like, so the shaker cabinets are just kind of like that thick border. I actually like the shaker cabinets and the crown molding. I definitely like the crown molding on the top. So that's our link to the calendar. So yes, Katrina's video was debuted last Tuesday. We covered a Tampa home, brand new. It was a really nice home. I'm super excited that we got a lot of good comments, a lot of nice comments regarding how well Katrina did. Kelly said, "Hi, Alexis. I watched you and Katrina go through a new home, and you both look gorgeous. And Katrina did an amazing job. You always do an amazing job." Thank you so much, Kelly. I really appreciate it. I really, really appreciate that. Her and I have such a great connection, and it's just so authentic, and it just flows. We definitely just flowed through the entire home tour. So I'm excited to have her a part of the Evolve Estates group. Hi, Karen. So let's go back to talking about Ocala. So Ocala is not for everyone, right? So if you want to if you have like if you like the nightlife or want to walk down to a bar or anything like that, then Ocala is definitely not the vibe for that, right? You could go to downtown Ocala where they do have bars, but of course you have to drive. It's about 25 minutes, not too far. But it's not like living in downtown like Orlando or downtown Tampa where you could just maybe walk to the bar or the club or anything like that. I'm not about that life anymore. And I can't say that I was, I grew up fast in New York, and so we had like the fake IDs and go clubbing and stuff like that. But I started a family very early. I got pregnant at 18. I had my son at 19. So that was, yeah. So but that nightlife stuff doesn't really do anything for me. So I like Ocala. And if you wanted to here and there, if you wanted to like I don't know, go to downtown Orlando or go to like International Drive, it's only about an hour and a half drive. So it's not too bad. Karen said, shh, don't tell all the New York secrets, girl. Yeah, I definitely grew up fast. But like most of my adulthood, I've been a mom. um and so I don't like clubbing. It's just too many people in a most of the time in a tight space, and everybody's on top of each other and things like that. That's not really my vibe. Like um my vibe is going to get really really good food, right? Like that's my vibe. Janet said, LOL, we are way past that life. Yes, Janet. I just it doesn't do anything for me. It really doesn't. I Anthony said, Alexis, I have 0.23 acres in Ocala. I'm getting inquiries on the land, but I haven't decided if I want to sell or build. It's in the Silver Spring area. I'm pretty I could only imagine the inquiries you're getting regarding that piece of that piece of land, because number one, land the land prices are increasing because people are building right in those areas. So you just have to take a look to see, okay, what you could sell it for. It does it make sense, or do you want to live in that area, or you prefer to maybe take that money and apply it to something else. But a lot of people, man, when I was doing some research on the lots in Ocala, specifically like Marion Oaks, people bought those lots for like $2,500, $3,000, man, and they're going for like 25, 30,000 right now, and they're increasing by the day because a lot of builders are building in that area. And now the bigger builders are coming into the area. So Richmond American is in Ocala now, right? Soon a lot of big builders are going to be in Ocala. We already have Park Square Homes, we have Highland Homes, you have Ryan Homes, you have Lennar, you have DR Horton, you have Adams Homes. It's only a matter of time for more builders to come into the area. Jean said, hi, Alex. Good afternoon. I will be contacting you soon. Thank you so much, Jean. I really appreciate it. Karen said, I'm turning 60 next Saturday. Okay, Karen. Happy birthday. So as much as I love going out, those times are far and few in between nowadays. If I need to go to a bar, I'll take an Uber or go into my cabinet and sit on my lanai. See, that's what I'm talking about. Like, so Vic and I are in Denver, right? And we don't have any expectations. Like, we don't have a full itinerary on like, oh, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, and all this other stuff. We're just kind of go with the flow. So yesterday we got here and we went to the movies, and I don't know, but I'm making this a habit and I really need to stop, that I'm falling asleep at the movie theaters. I did that at Superman when we took the kids. I fell asleep. I didn't even watch the movie. And yesterday, Vic wanted to see Fantastic Four, and I fell asleep. I've just been so exhausted. So after we went to the movies, we walked around, and Did we eat? No. What did we do after the movies?
Crafting.
That was no, but we got coffee first.
Oh, coffee. Yeah.
So we went to go get coffee,
Coffee.
and I didn't like the coffee. But we just sat down. Oh, open that. We just sat down, and it was such a vibe, just like, just being, not having any expectations, not having any responsibilities with the kids, right? After we went to get the coffee, we were walking, and I saw this craft place, and I was like, okay, I want to go check it out. Let's go check it out. So this was such a vibe. It was such a vibe. So you could have drinks there. I ordered a drink. I'm not really much of a drinker, honestly. I'll drink a pina colada, or a mojito. I like mojitos right here and there, but I'm not really like a drinker. So I ordered a sangria, and it was way too sour for me, so I didn't even drink it. Waste the money. It's okay. It's all about the experience, right? But anyways, they had like a few different projects that you could do, and I chose to make coasters out of concrete, which, guys, it just, the way it happened, I'm like, I told Vic like weeks ago, I'm like, babe, I really want to buy coasters because when I drink and then it leaves the water on the counter or whatever. So I made these coasters. So this is concrete, and they give you like felt on the to glue on the bottom. And so they gave me a stencil. So I did the Evolve Estates logo. But how cute are these? And it was a super cute project, and it was such a cute date with Vic and I. And then we did like the black and white. Wait, I think it's that way. And these are concrete. It was super cool. I think I found a new love for just arts and crafts. Like, as you get older, you start evolving and you start changing, and it's just like, what do I like to do? That's how I've been. I'm like, what do I like to do? And this is what Vic made. It's what is it called, babe? Mala necklace. So yeah, it was a really, really cool experience, especially being without the kids. um so yeah, that's what I like to do. Okay, James said, I like how builders in Ocala are dumping the 100% stucco and are going to stone, brick, and some siding, etc., giving better curb appeal. Yeah, I agree. There's actually this design that is made of I don't know if it's stucco, but it's siding, but it's a decorative siding, even though the house is still concrete. Because sometimes when you see siding, it is because the house is made of wood. But they're doing like this decorative siding, and I want to say it's made of maybe stucco or concrete. I'm not sure, but I completely agree with you. I love when they do the stone too, like the stacked stone. I completely agree with you. I like that it gives a better curb appeal, just like you said. Kelly said, what are the advantages of living in a community with an HOA versus living on a piece of land that is a quarter to a full acre of land? So that's a great question, Kelly. What happens in an HOA is that there's rules and regulations, right? And so you have to basically upkeep your property, okay? So like you have to maintain your grass, you have to if you wanted to paint the exterior of your home, it has to be within guidelines that the community has set, right? Because they don't want you to put a purple house and everything else is more of a neutral color. You're going to bring down property values, right? The downside that a lot of people see with HOA is the rules and regulations, right? Sometimes, some depending, and I'm just speaking broad, right? Some communities have where you can't park on the street. Like, for example, my community, you cannot park on the street. If you park on the street, you will get towed. Some communities is where you can't have your garbage cans visible, right? It has to be either in your garage, which that's an absolutely no, or you could put it behind like maybe the AC, or you can put kind of like a white fencing around it, right? So you're gonna have those rules and regulations. There's a lot of like I would very well advise you to not go too deep into like the Facebook community pages because there's a lot of Karens. Okay, in my community, there's a lot of Karens. I have to like shut it off. Um, the advantages of no HOA, right, is where okay, no one can tell you what to do to a certain extent, right? Because let's say like Marion Oaks, I always say that although there's no HOA, it is still deed restricted, which means there are still some restrictions. They are very lax and is not like a full-blown HOA, but they do have still they have regulations. And for example, they ask you to get your exterior color of your house approved. Mind you, there's purple, there's pink houses in Marion Oaks, right? That's just the truth. So they are very, very lax. There are some things that they really are trying to hone in on. For example, is no tractor trailers, right? Because if you park the tractor trailer in the street, you're blocking you're blocking the street and things like that. But the thing about it is too is that when you don't have an HOA, then there are some people who don't upkeep their house, right? So there's people that their grass is really tall, or they have cars on their lawn, or they have garbage on their lawn, things like that, right? So it's always give and take, I feel like, with everything in this world. So oh, yes. And that's a thank you, Billy, for bringing that up. Also, HOA can take your house, right? So, Vic is looking at me. Yeah, no, it almost got that far, buddy. Did I tell you guys that Vic didn't pay the HOA? Mind you, my HOA is $150 for the year, right? He didn't pay the HOA, and I got a lien on my house. They started the foreclosure process. So yes, that's a downside for HOA, is that they can definitely take your house if you don't pay the HOA fees. Absolutely. And they are like they're on top of it, right? Like Vic says predatory. Yes, Billy. I saw no, and I saw liens on my house. I saw a foreclosure process happening. I almost killed Victor. Y'all would have saw me. Y'all would have seen me on TV. Okay, y'all would have been like, "Wait a minute, is that Alexis?" It sure is. Oh my, oh, yeah, you got me hot now. You're gonna leave now? Okay. So yes, so HOAs can definitely take your house if you do not pay your HOA fees. I don't know who needs to know this, but if you love cookies, Vic, these are Vic's favorite. This is a really good brand. Grain-free cookies. These are Mexican wedding cookies, and they have it's kind of like an oatmeal, right? An oatmeal. Just FYI. So hi, Billy said, my bad, Vic. Pardon me, fam. Vic said we evolve. Yeah. Yo, I wanted to kill him. I wanted to kill him when I saw that there was a lien on my house because he didn't pay $150 HOA for the year. Oh yeah, but you already know he has that on like an alert on his calendar now. James said could be Hardy playing siding, which is essential. I think that's what it is, James. And I honestly really like the look of it. Daryl said, hi from Charlotte County, Florida. Hi, Daryl. Oh my gosh, I'm traumatized now, Billy. Trauma. So yeah, Kelly, to answer your question, there's pros and cons to everything, right? Like, I personally, I think my next house, and just this is just a preference, is where it is not deed restricted, it's no HOA. Of course, you still have to abide by county, rules and regulations, which is minimum. But yeah. Janet is laughing. Janet, yeah, I would have seen me in a yellow jumpsuit. Oh, orange. My bad. See, I don't even know. All right, let me see. Um, let's see what else. Any other areas you guys are interested in here? Like, what are you guys thinking as far as if you move to Florida? What areas are you thinking about purchasing a home? Oh, tomorrow's video is actually going to be of a brand new community in Davenport, Florida. It's called Windstone, and there's a few different builders in there. There's going to be Lennar, Stanley Martin, Casa Fresca, and I'm not sure if DR Horton, I can't remember. But I toured Stanley Martin's floor plan. It's called the Atrium, which is a 4-bed, 2.5 bath, 2-floor home. But they have a really, really nice floor plan, which is 5 bedrooms, 4.5 bathrooms. And it's a big house. It's called the Chester. And people love that floor plan because everybody has their own bathroom, and there's a half bathroom downstairs as well. So I'm hoping they'll have like a completed home soon so that I can show you guys. But tomorrow is going to be Davenport, the Windstone community, which is literally 5 minutes away from I-4. It's in a great, great, great location in Davenport because you're not far from anything. Jennifer said, are you doing any more videos for the Haines City, Winter Haven area? Yeah, Jennifer. So we're going to be doing another Haines City. Tomorrow is Davenport, and we're going to continue to do like the Winter Haven area. Melissa said, I have a house to sell and having a hard time selling it. It's a 2023 build, 5-bedroom, 2.5 baths. So Melissa, are you still, the community that you're selling your house in, is the builder still building houses? Janet said, we don't like the HOA thing. You know, that's so crazy, Janet, because you don't have HOA in New York. Like when I lived on Staten Island, there was no HOA. Melissa has said Heath Preserve, which is Lennar, correct? Yeah, Lennar. Are they still building in that community? So that's the hard part, Melissa, is when you have a resale home in a community where the builder is still building, because you are essentially competing with the builder, right? They're giving lower interest rates, they're offering to pay most of the closing costs, right? So what happens is that you're sometimes, especially from 2023, it's only been 2 years, a lot of sellers are taking a loss because they have to price their property right, and it's maybe is going to be below of what the builder is currently have our current prices are, right? So it's definitely, are you selling it yourself or do you have a real estate agent? That's the big thing. It's when you are selling your home when a builder is still building in that community, it's harder. It's not impossible, but it definitely is harder. And you have to make sure that you have your house priced correctly. Melissa said, I have a realtor, but we hardly get any showings. And it's probably because you're not priced correctly. If you don't have any showings, it's because you're not priced correctly. So I would definitely have you should have a conversation with your realtor, get back to the drawing table and see what you can do, right? To kind of incentivize people to buy your house, but pricing is everything, especially when you're still in a community where the builder is building. And do you have solar panels on your house? Because that's another one too. I have where there's solar panels on the house. You're asking the buyer to assume that loan. It's a lot. Phil said it's like a small paint store going up against Home Depot. Yeah, it really is. It's all about pricing and marketing when you are in when your house is still in a community. Okay, no solar panels, perfect. But if you don't have any showings, it's because A, it's most likely the price, and B, it is gonna depending on how your house shows on the MLS, right? I hope your realtor, advised you to declutter the house, got a professional photographer to take pictures of the house, right? Because especially in this market, you can't just put a for sale sign in the front lawn and cross your fingers and hope you get a buyer, right? You have to market the property, but even marketing the property is not going to do much if the price is not where it needs to be. Yes, they had a professional. Perfect, perfect. So for me, honestly, what it sounds like is going to definitely be the price. Okay, let me see. Daryl said Tampa and Sarasota. Okay. Well, Katrina definitely got you in those areas. Let me see. James said, "What's Southwest Lakeland looking like? Seen Tapia Builders? Tapia Builders? I like Lakeland. I do like Lakeland. Did I? Am I reading that right? Tapia Builder? Tapia Builders. Yes, let me see. Oh, I've seen their houses. They built some, it looks really nice. Jay said, "Hi Alexis, I'm interested in Citrus Hills or Beverly Hills. What are your thoughts for a retiree? Want an acre to an acre and a half? I think an acre and a half. I think that's perfect. I think those areas are perfect for what you are looking for. I have actually a lot of clients who are interested in the Beverly Hills area, and I really do like the Beverly Hills area, the Pine Ridge community, which there is an HOA, but is extremely low, like $95 for the year." Phil said, "We loved your videos this week. Thank you so much, Phil. Katrina was debuted. Super excited for her." Wait, Karen, you have two HOAs in the Bronx? Really? James said, "Don't CDDs always come with an HOA?" No, James. So what happens is that some builders, some communities, they don't develop their own land, right? So if when they don't develop their own land, they take out a bond and the city develops their land. That is where the CDD comes in. So no, CDD, wait, don't CDDs always come up? Yes, CDDs. If there's a CDD, there's an HOA. But if there's an HOA, that doesn't mean that there's a CDD. So yes, CDDs always have an HOA. HOAs don't always have a CDD. Billy said HOA and lot fees if I want to go the mobile home route is ridiculous in my honest opinion. Yeah, especially the lot fees. Some of those lot fees are crazy. And it's not even like if you have the lot fees, that means you don't own the land. And I've seen some lot fees where it's like $1,500 a month. And then you have an HOA on top of that, which is crazy. Melissa said, "Have you ever seen someone get a second FHA loan due to growing family and where the lender waived the 25% equity condition on the current home to sell?" It's honestly going to depend, and it's also going to depend on the area that you live in, because I've seen where a person is able to get a second FHA loan, but it had to be, 100 at least 100 miles from where their current residence is, right? So that's going to depend, and I recommend speaking to a lender because that's very, very specific. Jay said, "Always look forward to your videos. They have helped me a lot." Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. We try to help as much as we can. We try to give you as much information and value as we possibly can. Melissa said, I'm due to close in Marion Ranch in August, and that is the only condition. Okay. Yeah, so August, and do you have a contingency to sell the house? Because you have to sell that house in order to buy the house in Marion Ranch. Kelly said, I watch all of your home videos. When you quote home prices that have some acreage, is the land an additional cost? So it is going to depend, right? So if there's a home that's ready to go, that price that I'm giving you, it's the land is already included. But if I'm giving you, okay, hey, this is a house where you can build it on an acre land, right? The base price is, let's just say, $350,000. No, that does not include the land, right? But if I'm touring a brand new home, that home is for sale, that house already includes the land in that price. Jay said, great, we'll be calling, just need time to carve out. Yes, perfect. Okay, so Karen, you're in a co-op? Yeah, so I had clients who were in a co-op in the Bronx, and their HOA was high. Their HOA was higher than what their mortgage was. Karen said, it's in a gated community with duplex condos. Really want to sell, but waiting for my daughter to graduate high school, and then I'll decide if I want to pay off my house and then sell. All right, Jay said, is there a concern with Florida HOAs increasing exponentially in short amount of time? So no. So the HOA, right? You'll have it in the rules and regulations, where they are only able to increase it a certain amount per year, right? So sometimes it's 3%. It depends on the actual community. But I haven't really seen where HOAs are extremely, like, they're going up ridiculously. But yes, they can definitely go up. Absolutely. What do you think of the black metal trim that outlines around shower glass doors that run along the wall behind the sink and that run along the black metal trim that shrouds around shower glass doors? I'm a very visual person, so I don't know what you're talking about. I'm so sorry. I have income to carry both mortgages in the meantime until this home sells. I'm trying to save my closing. I wrote a letter to underwriters respectfully asking them to waive the 25%. Honestly, yeah, that's going to be very specific to you, Melissa. I hope it all works out for you, though. Okay, so Karen, you live in a condo. It's like rent for a place you pay a mortgage on. Yeah, I agree. Phil said, what is the current inventory right now in Florida as time of houses on the market? So it's gonna depend. It's all gonna depend on the actual area, right? So I mean, I feel like we're in a buyer's market because there's definitely inventory out there. There's a lot of options for buyers here. You do still have multiple offer situations. Very You'll get multiple offer situations if, of course, the house is in a great location. The house shows very well, right? Let's say it's updated or what have you, right? And it's priced right. You will most likely get multiple offers. But as long as you price your house correctly, it will sell, right? And of course, you have to market it and do all of those things, but pricing is extremely important. It really is. Jennifer said, "Do I need to be a Florida resident in order to qualify for first-time assistant programs?" So it's honestly it's gonna depend on a lot of different factors, right? A lot of people think about a lot of people think about first-time home buyer assistance programs. Okay, so like let's say a lot of them, like let's say they give you $10,000 for your down payment. Of course, you have to meet criteria, a certain criteria, and I can't remember. It's gonna depend on. There's so many different programs whether you have to be a Florida resident or not. But that's a good question. I did see. I think that you did go ahead and schedule a calendar event. So I'll have to ask my lender about that. Now, when you think about these types of programs, right? Sometimes it's better, well, most of the time, if you have the money, right? And let's say you have money in your 401k or money saved up, right? Sometimes you're better off using that and not the down payment assistance program, right? Because with the down payment assistance program, they come with their own interest rate and it's higher than what you would be quoted if you don't use it. Leo said the governor wants to eliminate property taxes. What will that do for home sales in Ocala? I think, well, number one, people will buy very, very fast, right? But of course, with anything, if you take something away, it's going to add on to something else, right? So I don't know if if it's going to happen. If it happens, then we know that there's no such thing as like free money, right? So if we're not paying property taxes, they're adding it somewhere else. They're adding it somewhere else. We had a long discussion, I think, a few weeks ago when that came out. Janice said, Alexis, I'm going off topic for a split second, but the nails are on point. You already know that I had to show up and show out over here, okay? So I got my nails done. I had them off for I had them off for like 2 months, just to give my nails a break. And I'm back, baby. I'm back. I love them. And you already know it's like the clickety clack. You hear them? That's how we talk with, especially with the nails. Hold on. Jennifer, I look forward to our appointment as well. Hi, my name is Carl and I'm from Staten Island. Okay, I love hearing when people are from Staten Island because it's just the way YouTube works and it gets me to my people. I love that. And I have about $700,000 equity on my house. That's amazing. I would like to sell here and buy a nice house in Ocala. Can you help me? Of course we can help you, right? You just have to schedule an appointment with us and then we can definitely help you. Hi, Arlene. Phil said, LOL, no joke. My daughter hit a red light camera and a ticket was $275. So guess what? They're making it up. They're making it up. Yes, they are. They are. But I didn't tell you guys. Okay. So there was this one day that I was in charge of bringing the kids to summer camp, right? And I swear to you, I'm like, I didn't even realize I was going that fast, but I ended up doing I was doing 55 on a 35. And as soon as I seen the cop, I looked down and I was like, ooh. I was like, I think I'm gonna get pulled over because I was doing 55 on the 35. And long and behold, I passed him and he went right back in back of me and he turned on his lights and my kids were like, oh my gosh. So I'm super glad and blessed that he just gave me a warning because that ticket would have been, he said 250. And oh my gosh, I was like, no. And they get you because it goes from a 45 to a 35 And then your girl was doing 55. I don't know. I wasn't even like I wasn't paying attention to how fast I was going because I have a charger. So yo, that goes you go fast and you don't even realize that you're going fast. So I'm just, you have to see me. If I'm dropping the kids off at summer camp, I'm looking at my speedometer and I'm making sure that I'm not going over 35. I'm doing 30 now. Oh my gosh. And I don't know if it's anywhere else, but here in Florida, especially in Polk County, if they catch you doing over 100 on I-4, you immediately go to jail. And so there's already, I think, like 4 or 5 people who have already went to jail because they were doing over 100 on I-4. Yup. And if you're doing okay, so is it just me, or is this like, or it's just kind of like we know this, right? It's like undisclosed, but it's like it's a thing where if you're doing within 10 above of what the speed limit is, you're good, right? So if I'm doing 70, I normally do around 80, right? But sometimes, like if it's an open road, right, 100 is nothing. You doing 100 miles an hour is nothing. So it's kind of like you have to really like make sure you're not doing that. You're not doing over 100. In New York, if they catch you doing over 100 miles an hour on a motorcycle, they don't take you to jail. They take you to the hospital because they think you're committing suicide. Are you joking, Phil? Or are you telling me the truth? Really? Billy said no more next year tax assessment sticker shock. Listen. And points. Yep. Thank you. My wife and I love the island technology. I'm going to reach out to you to make an appointment. What area of Ocala is best for a family with kids? I mean, I think most of the areas in Ocala are great. It's going to depend on what your price point is. It's going to depend on what your what like what exactly are you looking for. So a lot of people that are looking for have a family, that are looking for amenities, they're looking at Calessa Township, right, in Ocala, which is a great, beautiful community. So that's always something to look into. Is the Ocala housing market really dealing with a crash or heading towards a crash? No, we're not heading towards a crash, and especially not in Ocala. There's houses still being built. There's houses still selling. There's people still moving to the area. It's still very, very, very affordable. So no, I wouldn't say so. And that's why the bigger builders, if there was really a crash, these bigger builders wouldn't be coming into the area. I'm sorry, but the news, what is that word? Like propaganda type of thing. But mind you, these corporations, these investors, multimillionaires are really are buying up properties, are buying communities, are building communities. The news and all that, they like to put fear, but then the people who make a lot of money and are very wealthy and rich, they're the ones who are taking this opportunity to buy these properties. By the way, how did Victor enjoy his milkshake? He liked it. It was really good, he said. We actually ate at the meat market, and it was pretty good food. I really liked it. The only thing that I was bummed out about that Katrina didn't know was that they have a completely different menu for dinner, but dinner don't start till 5 p.m. So next time I want to go and without the kids. I'm a really like, if I'm with the kids, I'm not really enjoying myself. If you know, you know. I'm sorry if you guys take your kids everywhere and that's perfect. But for me, having 6 kids and going to like restaurants, it's just not enjoyable, right? So I like to enjoy the restaurants without the children. Or if I have the big boys, then that's different because the big boys, they chill. But they did have this cookie which had Nutella inside. That was really good. Let me see. Billy said 80 is my max because you're in the moment. Yes. Leo, exactly. Grady Judge calls his jail Grady Land. Yo, Grady Judge does not play. He does not play. My wife and I are looking at Ocala and the Sanford area to move and build a house in 2030. I love that for you guys. That's amazing. So Ocala and Sanford are two complete different areas, but both great areas, but definitely different. Janice said they have cameras everywhere in NYC now, and if you go over that speed limit, which is almost 25 miles per hour everywhere, you get a ticket mailed. You know who does that and who's really good at that? I want to say is Virginia. Man, I think Vic, years ago when we were driving from New York back home and we passed Virginia, oh, he got a ticket. My wife and I always follow you. We're looking to buy in Ocala and looking to spend around $700,000. Where should we look? So it's still gonna depend on where you want. Do you want more land, right? If you want more land, if you want a brand new home, but if you want to be in a community, right? So you can of course you can look in Marion Oaks. If you want to be in an HOA community, you could look into Calusa. If you have smaller kids, you don't want to be in a 55 and over, then you could look into Beverly Hills, which is a beautiful area too. You have Denellen, which is just outside of Ocala. So it's honestly going to depend on exactly what you're looking for. Jay said VA will give speeders and reckless drivers tickets quick. Oh yeah, very, very true. Ashley said, does your team help with finding rentals in the Winter Garden area looking to relocate next year? So we don't handle rentals. Rentals are another beast in itself. But we can definitely put you in contact with an agent who does handle rentals. That's not a problem. But we don't handle rentals specifically. Bye, Karen. I hope you have a great birthday celebration with your friend, and I hope you have a great birthday next Saturday. Happy birthday, amiga. Jennifer said, how has your experience been with the Florida school system? How has charter schools been? So it's just gonna depend, right? My kids' charter school was I think it was a year old when they started going to it. So you had a lot of growing pains. But now I think that we're on a really, really good path. We had a couple of principal changes, but the principal is really great now. So I like the charter schools. My kids have been to regular public schools as well, and all of the public schools my children have been to have been great. And I've said this before, even when there are like, let's say for example, if it's rated C or stuff like that, that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad school, right? So my kids have went to a rated C school where, oh my gosh, it was one of the best schools that they've went to, right? And then you have public schools that I would not put my children in, right? But that's all research that you have to do. But I like charter schools. Like if I see a school, if I see reviews and of a public school or that I'm just not happy about, then I probably would prefer a charter school. It just depends. Guys, can I help answer any questions? Man, this week is, like I said, tomorrow is going to be Davenport. Tuesday is going to be Wesley Chapel. You'll see Katrina again. The following week, we're probably not going to have a video up. I hadn't had the time to go ahead and record for the following week. And that week will be on the cruise. So we're probably just going to take a break for that week. There will not be a live next Sunday because we will be on the cruise. And I really want to be intentional, especially with being with the kids, and they start school soon. So I will be in San Diego this week. Like I said, I'm going to be speaking at Inman Connect, which I'm excited about. I'm actually really nervous when I think about it. I know that I would do great, but I'm still very, very nervous. And then I'll be in Texas, where I'll be speaking to agents about YouTube. So, so I'm excited. I'm really, really excited about it. Hi, Harold. There's just so much great things happening. Let me know if you guys, what areas are you want to see more of, or what do you want to see? You want to see houses with more land, right? I do this for all of you guys. So let me know what you want. I will be putting more videos of like the Winter Haven, Haines City. I probably will start doing like Lakeland as well, because I do like Lakeland. I like that Lakeland, Winter Haven metropolitan area. Of course, we're going to be doing Tampa, Wesley Chapel, and those surrounding areas. We'll still have videos of Ocala. So let me know, is there anything specific that you guys want to see? I always say this to all of my clients who call me, is that we all of us realtors have access to the same exact houses that are on YouTube, right? It's just very, 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 we're not able to cover all of the houses, right? So just let me know what you guys would like to see. I think that's it. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll stay on for a few more minutes. Thank you guys. I really, really, really appreciate it. Your girl's evolving. I do so great on YouTube in my business, and I just want to teach other realtors how to do what I do, right? Again, same recipe. I could give them the recipe. The flavor ain't gonna be the same. Everybody's gonna have their own flavor, right? And so do you see the interest rates dropping this year? There have been talks about at least two decreases in the interest rates. So I'm hoping that that's going to come within the October time frame. But you're still getting really, like, if you're looking maybe at new construction, you're still getting some really good interest rates. I know DR Horton had as low as 3.99. So you're still getting lower interest rates in new construction, right? It's with the resale homes where you have that market rate. Of course, you could buy the interest rates down. Hi, Felipe. Thank you so much, James. I try to show up for you guys every week. Sometimes we go off topic and we just talk about things, right? I absolutely love you guys. Thank you for loving me the way that I am. My authentic self. But I think that's it. I don't know if I have anything else for you guys. I like off topic. I do too. Sometimes, like I said, Janet brought up my nails. Thank you, Janet. Things like that. We just keep it 100%. We talk about anything that you guys want to talk about. Keep in mind, if interest rates go down, you can always refinance. Exactly that too, right? And this is very important, guys, for you to know. Once the interest rates go down, the prices will go up. That is just a fact. The prices go up when interest rates go down. Okay? So you can never refinance the purchase price of the house, right? In the sense of what you purchase the house for is what you purchase it for, right? You could always refinance the interest rate. But of course, I always say, make sure that you're comfortable with what you're quoted and how that rate looks, how that payment looks. Because if you guys know me, I never, ever, ever, ever like talk somebody into doing something. I always just keep it real. I always give you facts, and that's it. At the end of the day, I'm not paying for your house, right? You are. So I always want to make sure that my clients are comfortable for what they're, what they're getting into. All right, guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe on the videos that are debuting this week. Remember, there will be no live next Sunday because I will be on the cruise with the kiddies. I'll put pictures. I'll definitely put pictures in the community tab of YouTube so that you guys can see how the tour, the YouTube, oh my gosh, the cruise is going. How the cruise is going. I'll also share pictures of me on stage at Inman this week, and I'll share pictures of me on stage in Texas this week as well. Okay. I hope you guys have an amazing week. Remember, no live next week, and then there won't be any videos next week. Well, this this Monday, Tuesday, yes. Next Monday, Tuesday, no. And then we'll start again the following week. Okay, I hope you guys have an amazing week. You guys know where to reach me. If you guys know who's looking to move to Florida, make sure you share our contact information. We would love to help them purchase a house here in Florida. Remember, we cover all of Central Florida, including Ocala and the Tampa Bay area. Okay, anyways, have a good week. I'm gonna go get ready because I'm gonna go to dinner. All right, bye guys.